If I'm going fast, no one should get nervous. It's because I am going fast, but it's a lot of the things and the concepts that we're going to see them over and over again, and the applications, like I said, of Shulchan Aruch are not necessarily. I would say, I guess, I don't want to say they're not lemaisadik, but it's more important that we get to the examples that are lemaisa by us. So we're trying to build the klalim, but don't get nervous if it seems like we're going fast at this point. I mean, it's a very big sugi muksa. It's mamish. It's a mayim she'ein lem soif, like the Gemara says. Muksa is a mayim that just it doesn't end. So you can't have it that it doesn't end. Chalila forever. We'll learn muksa that we have to go weiter. But mitzad sheni, we're gonna mitzvah Hashem. Everyone will have a clarity of mitzvah Hashem. And also, Rabbi Lieberman wrote the notes. Now that's everybody will be able to just read it, and that's it. Now it's all simple. No, you made it simple, right? You didn't do hard and stuff like that. Right? All right, whatever I say. Okay. So yesterday we were holding by Sif Yudzayin. Let's see Sif Yudches. Now I'm going to read Sif Yudches. Sif Yudches is I realize that Sif Yudches might be one of the most important Sifim in Hilchos Moksa. Mamish one of the most important muktzah because it's a yaitze min a klal. Whenever you have a yaitze min a klal, you have something that breaks the rules. It's an exception to the rule. So then obviously it's something that requires some understanding. It's interesting. The Ramah brought down the etzem malach already in Sivav over here. Maybe that's already part of something we have to figure out here. But the Shulchan Aruch brings like this: koitz hamunach b'shus harabim. This is a very, very big side. If you have something which is dangerous in Rishus Harabim, so then you're allowed to be metaltal. Pachas midal damastam. The halacha is that whenever you have something with Rishus Harabim, your yarmulke falls off. Yarmulke falls off Rishus Harabim. So you're allowed to pick it up and put it on your head because it's within Daled Amos. And not only that, you're allowed to walk holding something less than Daled Amos. 6 feet, you have to probably be machmir. It's not that much, right? But you're allowed to walk holding something less than Daled Amos. You're allowed to hold something when it's less than Daled Amos, but you're not allowed to do what's called pachas midaled Amos. Pachas midaled Amos means that you're not allowed to walk, stop. Even though in a Torah that's allowed, but we're going to be afraid that he's not going to wind up stopping when he's supposed to stop. Okay, sorry, that's a whole sugya. It's not for now. Akapanim, what the Shulchan Aruch says here though is that when there's something dangerous in Rishus Harabim. He had something dangerous in Rishus Harabim, like a kite, some type of spiky thing or something, a kite, some dangerous thing. So then we tell him, this you could move pachas midal damas to chedushim. One is that it's muksa, probably this kite, and number two is that he's going to be going dalid pachas midal damas. He's not going to just move it 6 feet. He's going to stop, move another 6 feet, stop, another 6 feet. That's the halacha over here in Shulchan Aruch Gemara. It's famous Gemara in Shabbos Daf Mem Beis. You're allowed to go pachas midalad amas. Uba karmelis, in a karmelis, which is not a Rishus Harabim, so then he's allowed to lehedge move it in order, because the karmelis is only a drabanan. Karmelis is only a drabanan. So if you bought the karmelis is only a nissa drabanan. So therefore, it's going to be allowed to move it, not just pachas, you'd be allowed to move it straight, because the whole karmelis is only a nissa drabanan, and therefore he's allowed to. Uba makim hazeka the rabim legazer rabbanan shvus. Chazal were not gezer, they're drabanans. In a makim of Rabbim. Over here it says a zeket of Rabbim. That's the Shulchan Aruch, and this is pretty straightforward halacha. And Mishabura brings down. Let's see, Imaya koitz gadol, right? So the Shulchan Aruch has it said. Mishabura says, let's say it's a huge koitz, like everyone could see it, right? Everyone could see it. So then maybe binakel. Everyone should just be careful. I am Magen Avram that asked on this account should be takes his Shabbos is miyashivit, and he wants to be mekel. He wants to be machmir. I shulchanat shitim betiltam min atzad mutter gam bezeh. So you see, Mishabura tells you like, what if you have something that everybody realizes is dangerous? Okay, so the klal and all these halachas are going to be mitafkein mitzeichel. Everybody might know it's dangerous, and that doesn't mean kids might not really. So what are you going to say? In those days, they didn't have kids. Good kasha, right? What's the pshat? Mishabura says that you should only be makel with tiltul min atzad. You shouldn't be makel with lahedjedik tiltul. Only with moving it al yidei something else. Which derech lagav, a lot of times we're going to wind up moving things al yidei something else anyways, because you're not going to want to pick it up or whatever. But over here, it's like an interesting thing. Mishabura says something. He says if it's a kite gadol and everybody could be careful from it, so then you're not allowed to move it. And some say you could, and some say you can't. And Mishabura says, okay, just do it al yidei tiltul min atzad. And I'm smarter than everybody. What do you mean? And binakel, what? I mean, and a little kid, he's going to be able to be careful from it. What's the answer to this question? What? As in the middle of the streets, a little kid will be able to be chab? A little kid will be careful? So you're saying that in those days they didn't go in there sells the street? No, I don't think that's the answer. But I think in those days there weren't cars. It was much more common to let your kids out. They probably didn't have as many weird people as we have walking around the Shechman. I don't know, like that. Or at least they didn't know about it. I don't know, like that. But anyways, I don't know. What's the teretz? I saw one sefer. He writes, well, obviously if you have children and they can't be, careful. So then for Shtetzach, you'll be able to move this thing, Lehedja. I read it, I said to myself, he's for sure right. It makes sense. And I realized, wait, what, said the Mishabur, they didn't have kids? Bring me a raya that in the time of Mishabur they had kids. Who was a raya? Who was right? What? And then the Simon is right, and Shimon Gimel is all Simon about cotton, what you're allowed to, feed a cotton and things like that. They had katanim back then, right? So I don't know. Okay, let's see. We'll come back to the shayla. Anybody have an answer? It's a good shayla. You like the shayla? I would defer to it. It's a good shayla, right? I mean, how could you say that, I don't know. To me, it's a very good question. Okay, let's see. Then like this. Then Shulchan Aruch. Derech Agav, it's very important. I say it's a comment, a very important comment. The Coke that we had at the Masiba that has on it the Ukrainian, you can't drink it. It's not kosher. It's not kosher. I asked the Kashrus expert. He also said so, but it's you mamish can't drink it. And I guess it's a mitzvah farsim. It's a Ukrainian Coke or Russian Coke or all these things. And they're selling it in the market now, you know that? That's what's going on. What? I don't know. That's what he told me, but I don't want to cause trouble, right? I think your wife's on the phone. Right? But he said that mamish, it's fake news. They don't know what's going on. This is a kashrut expert. He probably doesn't want me saying who it is, but you know who it is, right? He edited one of my books, all of my books. Okay, you can all figure it out now. But yeah, okay. So anyways, he said your mamish can't drink it, and he knows what's going on in the Ukraine, and So I don't know. Don't touch the stuff. And so over here, the one that we have over here, you can. If anyone wants to bring it to their cleaning lady or something, so just don't drink it. I didn't drink that one, right? I drank the kosher one, right? Okay, good. Okay. No, also, if you notice that any of you are saying like ridiculously not smart things during learning the next few days, then it'll wear off. Just drink a lot of water and learn a lot of Torah, and then it'll go away, hopefully. Okay, I'll compare him like this. How do we get into that? Because it's hezek of Rabbi. You have to know. Anyways, so that's what it says in Shulchan Aruch and Siman Shin Ches Sif Yud Ches. Ramah, this is also interesting. Ramah and Sifav already told us this halacha. No? What did Ramah say? Im nishbru b'makim sheich. He's talking about broken pottery or broken glass or whatever. If it cracked in a place that it could damage people, kigoin, klis chuches, shenishbru al shulchan, like glass that broke on a table, or in a makim shulchan, mutter l'taltalin, you're allowed to move them around the shvarim kedei lefanois and shelo yazkabem, because you don't want somebody to get hurt. So this is like the klal, muksa. You're allowed to move muksa when somebody could get damaged from it. In Shulchan Aruch and Sif Yud Ches, it talks about b'makim rabim. In Shulchan Aruch Bayos and the Ramah Bayos and Sif Vav, it doesn't talk about rabim. It just seems to say anytime somebody could possibly get hurt, so then you're allowed to move it. Avalim hu shalcheres. He says the Mishabur starts making all these klalim. If it's pottery, I said pottery. I made a mistake. Mishabur says pottery. Nah, that's not so dangerous. It's not motzi the hezek and afal that he walks there. It's then he says, but maybe you could do it with your leg, because tiltal begufa is mutter, so go and just do it with your leg. Kids, you have to try and figure out what exactly is mutter here. Again, for sure, b'makim rabim, there's some type of a heter. Now we have broken glass where it's not a rabim, and then there's some other type of heter over here. Let's see. In Tavkov Yud Ches, I don't have one here, but it's in Chelik Hey. In Tavkov Yud Ches over there in Siv Gimel, it talks about some type of a spit, I think it's called, right? Like the spear that they put those I'm talking about, spit. So over there it talks about the spit. Well, it's like you put like the meat on it and shawarma and things like that. Shpud, right? A la shpud. What's it called? Like you go into these restaurants. Tavkov Yud Ches. In Tavkov Yud Ches, so over there it talks about when you have this spit or skewer. Thank you. Right. The skewer, and over there, the birlach, the mishabura. It says over there there's some kind of a heter of moving muks again on Yom Tif, on Shabbos. The mishabura is in Tivkot and Chafal. The birlach over there, they point out right away what's the difference between our siman and over there in Tavkov Yud Ches. So now already we're getting a little guidance, because over there it says that Bayas is talking about the makim rabim. And over there it's talking about stam. You have this thing, and over there it talks about maybe you have to do it with tiltum and atzad. Again, something's fishy here. It seems to be there's a heter of moving muksa when it's dangerous, Dangerous meaning that somebody's going to get hurt. It doesn't mean he's going to die. I mean, someone's going to get hurt. And then we also see that we're getting all these agbalas that tiltum and atzad maybe you should do, and if somebody could see it, maybe you shouldn't do it. And I'm asking you, what about a cotton? And cheres is not allowed. Pottery, I don't know, broken pottery. I'd be nervous about having broken pottery just sitting around. But maybe they tiltum and atzad. You could. Something seems to be a little bit fishy. So this, when you have this kind of a sugya, as I'm saying, it's mechayiv us to look into the heintig achreinim to know what's going on here, because it's very difficult. You read the Ramah over here, and you have to try and figure this out. So let's see. So first of all, Mishabur Bayas. Let's see. Mishabur Mem Zayin. Mishabur says, the kol shekain shemutal talta matzah munach b'makam sheyachol lizak. He's talking about a kite, and it's he's talking about like a needle or something. What? And he says b'makam sheyachol lizak anshe beisai. It's also mutter, and here he doesn't tell you tiltum and atzad. Like, it's something interesting, no? So what's going on here? When yes, when no. Very sharp things, that's a very sharp thing. A needle's a very sharp thing, right? And the glass that broke in Sivav, that's very sharp. He seems to say that's okay. By us over here, the kites and Rishas Harabim. So let's again, I'm going to look around, then we'll come back to our Mishnah Berurahs and see what we can do. So I looked around on all the questions that I had. So for example, we had like this, we had medicine that was out the other day, and the medicine that was out, it looks like a candy. It looked like a candy, and it's not. It's a certain type of medicine, and the mamish looks like a candy. It has like a certain like reddish taste, look to it, and whatever. And I didn't like it that it was out. It was out it was on the table. It was on my table. I didn't like that it was out. Am I allowed to move that? Medicine is muksa. It wasn't medicine that was being taken anymore. It was medicine that had been finished. Right, and it looked like a little like tzur of like a candy on it. So, and even if not, I don't know. But let's say in that case, that's what was bothering me. This is my Shaya a few weeks ago, not like the second. But then I started thinking, am I allowed to move this medicine? Assuming this medicine is muksa on Shabbos, or Moshe told us that any medicine which is not in use is certainly muksa. It has no usage, and it's muksa. So am I allowed to move it? A child can walk by and take it, and what? So do you think yes, right? I'm nervous. I'm going to be nervous till Shabbos about it. Yeah, I don't know. And what about this? Where somebody could see this huge kites over here, and everyone could see it? Is there what's a job? What about kids?
I also see it. But
no, for kites you're not allowed to move it because everyone could see it. For kids, also move that one. But a kid, I'm worried about a kid, right? I don't know. Okay, so I looked it up. Wait, okay, slow. Today I'm going to build. I'm going somewhere with all this. Right? I got the smile on probably, right? The Reb Nissen Karelitz, Zechariah the Vracha, in the 108th page, Reb Nissen says, my case. He says, medicine that's muksa, it's a hezek. You're afraid that someone's going to take it. He says, move the medicine. Okay, with all these things Rabbi say that aren't clear, it's probably better to do a klachar yad or whatever. It's not always easy to move the medicine to klachar yad. You don't want to lose it, let's say. You can understand it's better. Maybe tiltul minatzad, move it indirectly with something else, but maybe cover it. Okay, if you can find an eight, you find it. But I'm saying etzem aloch, is it mutter? Some of that fits into the cloud that they were not geyser muksa, the makam hezek. Sorry? No, it's again. I'm trying to show you that there's a lot of like unclarities here. There's a difference between glass and cheres, and there's a difference between what? Yeah, if it would be 1,000% hezek, then I'm just nervous that maybe the gedarim of hezek over here is that Chazal looked at an item and they saw it sharp and said that's a davar that is a mazik. So they weren't geyser on that mazik, on that item. Some type of a svar like that, which you see all the examples of Shulchan Aruch are kites. The example of Mishnah is glass, broken glass, not cheres, not pottery. It's interesting, right? It's anything that's dangerous. Why do you need to give examples? I'll ask you a better question. Why does the Mishnah say glass but not pottery? You should say if it's dangerous and use your brain. So the nagin, the nagin, whatever the nagin tells you, whatever the brain tells you. If the brain tells you it's dangerous, it's dangerous. Why is the Mishnah telling me anything? I don't know. If you have everybody say, what's broken pottery? You have a broken, did anybody here ever break a pottery cup, one of those, mug? A mug? Okay, so the mug sometimes has a glazed of glass, but the ikr, pain is the you want that on your floor? You want that on your floor? You want little anshel walking around like that? And I thought, ooh, yummy. Oh, looks interesting, right? The Mishnah Berurah is saying that's allowed. That's how Mishnah Berurah is talking. He didn't have kids. What's going on here? I find this very, very interesting. I don't know. The big bayav here. I'm telling you straight. The reason I'm doing this is because the halacha l'maisa here from the Heintig Achreinim doesn't stem so well with all these klalim in the Mishnah Berurah, right? What's going on here? Let's see. For example, Reb Nissen has another shaila, right? Let's say you have, sometimes, I was thinking this shaila, this is Mamish Meridik. Reb Nissen had two of my shailas. I wanted to make a kiddush. My other shaila was, we spoke the other day about how you have a table and the leg fell off. Now, Mamish, both these shailas that I had, Mamish has these questions over there on page 108. You have a table, he has different examples, but you have a table and the leg fell off. So the halacha is Shemi Yitka. You all know Shemi Yitka, unless all the million things that we spoke about that you'll see now in Rabbi Lieberman's Sefer, if it's an umen, this, that, whatever it is. But the normal case is a leg breaks off the table. If it's something that's fixable, so you're not allowed to move the table. That's Mefurish in Shulchan Aruch, and that's it, okay? No, you can think of something more dangerous than that. You got the leg on the table, nobody realizes it, nobody sees it. He's just gonna go like this, he's gonna lean on the table and boom, right? Or you have a chair that's broken. It's got the leg is off or whatever. No one can see. It's like in a certain way that people can't see. And they're for sure going to sit on it. Boom, splat, right? Right? It's a terrible thing, right? He's going to hurt himself. Right? So you got to move it. If it's in a place where, I think more in a case of where it's like in a shul or something like that. For sure someone's going to sit on it and someone's going to get hurt. In a house, you could whatever, So what do you do? Okay, again, there's always eights in the sugya, you kick it away and whatever, do something later. But now let's say that's the case, okay? The table, you can't kick away a table, right? And someone's going to lean on the table and boom, the whole thing is going to come down and he's going to come smashing down. It'll be terrible, right? So what do you say? That's what I was thinking this case the other day. What do you say? What? That to me is such a big chiddush. Who said move it? What? You're a Makavan to Reb Nissen Kallus. Reb Nissen Kallus says it's a big chiddush. What? Why is it chiddush? I don't know. There's something here that's bothering me. The Mishnah Berurah, when it came to cheres, you should know I'm going to be mevatel my das to all these gedolim. Don't think for a second. But the Mishnah Berurah, when it came to cheres, he said glass that breaks, that you're allowed to move, not pottery. Like, what's the case? I mean, what are we talking about here? I'm saying, okay, let's talk halacha l'maisa. Pottery breaks. Your mug breaks on the floor. It smashes on the floor. It breaks on the floor, right? Okay, so normally, like I'm saying, you're going to have a tear in many ways because it's tiltal menatzad l'tzarech l'malkim because you need to walk there. Right? So tilta menatzad tzarich l'malkim. But let's say, a lot of times you don't want to tilta menatzad. Why don't you want to tilta menatzad? Because, what? It's on the table. Let's say, okay, fine. Okay, but nobody will get hurt there. That's not a good example. That might be, a lot of times you have other terim. We're going to talk about graf shel rei. You're going to have a lot of terim here possibly, right? What would be a good example? The cheres cup broke on the floor. I'll tell you what the case is. The case is very simple. The case is that I'm nervous as a baby walking around the floor and something like that. I'm afraid I'm not going to get every piece. I want to pick it up and I want to whatever, right? I'm also nervous sometimes that, give me another case why I'm nervous. No? Then another case. What? Kid what? Okay, the kid on the table, we might have a term of tiltum menatzad because I need that makim or whatever. Let's say it broke and outside it broke. What? It broke outside. It's not it's not need of the makim. I wouldn't want my kids all day long out there with a piece of pottery, broken pottery. No, I don't know. So Mishnah Berurah says you can't move it. If you look in the Mishnah Berurah, if it's Shaila, he's going to tell you can't move it. Just I don't know. So what's the answer? So I look further. I looked in the Shmir Shabbos, and he says, I don't write down where. Shmir Shabbos says, the gather of Rabbim, over here it says when there's a Rabbim, you have a heter to move muksa. The gather of Rabbim is someone's going to get hurt. That's the gather of Rabbim. The gather of Rabbim is like, when there's a Rabbim, someone's going to get hurt. That. So I guess when you have a tinoik, that's the Ergish. If you're nervous, the whole Shabbos about it, right? Someone's going to get hurt. I told you, I had my example the other day of a menorah. And it had the glass things there, and it was in a way where it was not a matziv. It was in a way where it's like on a ledge somewhere. It was not a matziv that it was going to have an arichas yamim over there, and I wanted to move it, and I really wanted to move it mitzat the glass. Now, it's not so much that I'm afraid of the menorah. I'm afraid of the glass breaking all over the place. I wouldn't have had a yeshiva das the whole Shabbos. Is that enough to move it? It's in a matziv of where if somebody moves it, it's going to crack. Do I have to wait till it breaks? That doesn't sound so right that you should have to wait till it breaks. But Rav Nissen over there on the page 108, he says that 3 for 3. He also asked this question. He says, you don't have to wait till something breaks. If something's in an oifen of where it's vada going to break. I don't know what vada means, but Sorry? He said that's already a kites. That's already a kites. That's already a kites. Right? Plus? Yeah, I have more questions now. He's asking, Rabbi Markowitz is asking, and what's the difference between Yudche and Yudches? They tell us about the Mokim is Zeka the Rabim, there's no Gzeira. So what's Sitvav? What's Sitvav? And Sitvav, the Ramah says a Chiddush that when you have a broken piece of glass, in Yachal Hazik, what's the case? Is there Rabim here? I guess there's no Rabim here. Mishabura Ayin Zayin. So Mishabura says, he says, the Hadi Isa b'sivav, who asked that kasha? Shabru. So he says, "Im yesh shivrei schluches mutter, avshistam bayis ein matzi by rabim kolkach." Oh, finally we found the kasha. It's not such a big rabim. So he says, "Shamu rak iser muksa, v'isr tiltal daladam is bekarmelis, ibishisa rabim is worse." Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. When you only iser you're dealing with is muksa, then you don't need rabim. Okay, but what do you need? Now we're getting somewhere, right? Now the Mishabura just finally gave us something. When you don't have muksa, you don't need rabim. You don't need rabim. When it's only muksa, excuse me. The only issue that we're trying to be doiche is muksa, not karmelis and not itza. When we're trying to be doiche, just muksa. Muksa, you don't need. It's enough that you have broken glass, but it's only broken glass, not broken cheres. You know, the Mishabura over there told us not broken cheres, right? What's the case? The cheres isn't. He says he admits that there is hezek. Ain't a matzi kolkach hezek. If you have a bishuk kishu doiris alei mishabrim, you know, it's going to hurt. Oh, sorry, that's something else. When you're going to walk on it, it's going to break it even more. So what does he mean? So I guess there was a baby there. If there'd be a baby there, then it's pashut that cheres is the same thing, right? The Shmir Shabbos told me that anytime I'm going to be nervous the whole Shabbos, someone's going to get, I'm adding the word nervous the whole Shabbos, but someone's going to get hurt. You have glass on the floor, you have cheres on the floor, someone's going to get hurt. You know, you have that menorah over there, someone's going to get hurt. It just, you saw the way it was. It was for sure going to not, you know, if you're going to go to sleep Shabbos afternoon, it's going to be on the floor when you wake up and somebody's going to get hurt. That's the chayr. And not, you know, nafkamina is like snow. My understanding is that's why it's all snowed in over there. Rabbi Shlomo, what's the matter over there? It's all ice and snow and all that stuff over there. And Muncie is like near Denver. It's mamish probably geferlich over there, right? With the snow and the ice. So what do you got to do? So are you allowed to shovel away? So I'm saying if there's an Erev, so then you'll be, the only question of snow we spoke about is muksa, right? The only shadow of snow is a shadow of muksa. And so muksa, some people get hurt in the snow, not as much. Snow you don't get as hurt, right? But where do you get hurt? With the ice. With the ice, right? So but even in the snow, what's with snow? Snow is like dangerous? Snow's not dangerous. It's the ice that's dangerous. What? What? When it's the snow's hiding? No, oh, it's hiding the ice, maybe. No, I'm asking. I'm not playing games. I don't know. Snow is in Shalayim. When we have snow, it's a yontif. It's not dangerous. It's more. You know, it's they haven't had it in like 8 years over here. You know, so I can't remember. Pasha. It's the snow is dangerous, or the ice is dangerous? Black ice. Right. Sorry, are you allowed to say that today? What? Come again? White ice is also dangerous. No, I'm saying, look. If you want to know, can I crack the ice and move it away and it's probably muksa, that wouldn't bother me. Because it's dangerous. Do you want to know, can I take this salt? You know that, I don't know why it's called salt, but is it salt? I don't know. Right? That's salt. You want to know, can I take that salt and put it on the ice and melt it? Yeah, because the only issue of melting at best could be a derabanan. And over here, it's a makam sakana for sure. People fall and hurt themselves and slip on the ice. You want to know if the salt is muksa. Why should the salt be muksa? It's only to do something which is mutter on Shabbos. Kallus just said it's mutter. So it's mutter to do on Shabbos. So that wouldn't bother me, right? That wouldn't bother me. I don't know about snow though. You're telling me snow, yeah? Isn't snow like this nice fluffy thing with Frosty and the other snowman and all that stuff? What? Because it'll be, what? Only when it's fresh. And then after it becomes evil and annoying and whatever. Okay, so I guess it depends on the mitzvahs. If people are going to fall, for sure, if they're old people, what? Yeah, usually if it's going to be tons of snow, there's no point, right? I mean, you're not gaining it. I'm saying when you have the kids are, if you tell me that it's dangerous and snowy, so then you'll be allowed to shovel. Okay, now, what if it's just a rabbim and it's a shayla v'deraisa, that's already, you have to get involved in these klalim and tell me, is it really dangerous? If it's really dangerous, an azik rabbin, then you need a real hezek rabbin, like a shul. A shul would be a good example. It sounds like a funny thing. The Rav is going to be standing in front of the shul. The shul's right there in New York by Mamash Rosh Hashanah, and the Rav is there, and he's going to shuffle it away because it's a Rosh Hashanah. Everybody's walking past the shul, and the people coming into the shul, and they're going to fall. But that's the halacha, right? As long as he's doing pachas b'dalanas, he can't take the snow and throw a nice one moment. Can't do a good one. Right? For sure, you can get a guy. Sure, you can get a guy because it's dangerous. Right? But again, I don't know the mitzias. I'm assuming it's only dependent if it's dangerous. Sorry? But going from a shita yachid to shita rabbin is deraisa. So you have to figure out a way. You got to get a guy or whatever. You got to. Sorry. So what's the shayla? That's again. I want to find out first what the mitzvah says. Let's tachlis. If there's ice and ice people slip on, you can melt the ice. Even though there's a derabbanan of melting ice, but there is a derabbanan. We're waving in a makom of this type of a danger. What? Sorry. Mitzias, that's what I'm saying. I'm hard to answer these questions. It's a mitzias. Are you telling me that the whole Shabbos is going to be nervous, that an old man is going to fall, that a young man is going to fall, that someone's going to fall? If it's the norm that when there's ice, people fall, so then I think that's the mitzias. So then you're allowed to, right? Did I just answer you? I didn't. What? Even not in Rosh Hashanah, even not. If you're telling me that there's a vada hezek, right? No, again, like. You want to know why I'm being makel on Moilid? Because Moilid is more connected to he's asking, we only have a heter of Hezekah Rabbin. That's by Carmelis and Rosh Hashanah. Okay, we're doing pachas. But when we're dealing with something like Noilad and we're dealing with something like Muksa, there we are going to be makel. So what are you doing, Sachakol, by pouring the salt? You're either being over on Moilid, or you're being over on Muksa by moving it away. And that could be makel, a comment that you deem the situation to be a situation where someone's going to get hurt. Now, how far am I going to be makel? That we have to done. Let's first get the klalim. What? Sorry? That's hezek, right? Even for breaking an arm. Even for breaking an arm. Rabbi said, anybody that's falling in a way where he might break his arm, that also could be a sakana, right? Because it means he fell, he could hit his head for the same price, right? It's, there's a Rosh Hashiva in Yerushalayim a few years ago, is nifter from slipping on the ice, right? Rosh Zelig, Rosh Zelig, Rubenstein, he fell on the ice, he slipped on the ice. He was a big person also, a strong person. He wasn't like, some small guy or something. I mean, I guess the bigger you are, the harder you fall. But I'm saying, he wasn't like a weak person. He was like a strong person, and he died from it. He was nifter. It was a tragedy. But you get the point. But and then I saw, the klalim are very difficult here. I saw that Reb Nissen says, a shul is not called the makom rabbin. Any reason why? I don't know why. Why not? If the klal that we just said, for sure, a shul makom rabbin. Why not? In Mishnah Berurah and Siman Kufnan Dalet, it talks about, or Kufnan, maybe Gimel, Kufnan Dalet. Over there, the Mishnah Berurah talks about in Kufnan Dalet. Mishnah Berurah, at the end of Kufnan Dalet, the Mishnah Berurah talks about if you find an aveda in a shul, is that called a Rosh Hashanah? And you're allowed to take it. You don't find an aveda. Mishnah Berurah says it brings a shaila yesh yad lahektish or not, but the ma'aseh we paskin yes. Why should I care if it's an enclosed area? Rabbin means is someone going to get hurt. In a shul, someone's going to get hurt. If you have some broken glass there, or whatever, someone's going to get hurt. What should I tell you? I know it's totally in that mitzias mistama. But I don't know. It's a mashmois in here that maybe it has to be sharp and whatever. Like, how far do you take this? Let's say there's a banana peel on the floor. Right? A banana peel on the floor. That's every cartoon. Not that I saw. I was always giving chizik to the bad guys, telling them not to watch it. But you have a banana peel on the floor. And a banana peel, let's assume, is muksa because it's useless and nobody can eat it and there's no animals around, whatever. It's a banana peel. So you're allowed to move the banana peel. Okay, let's say tiltum outside, the makom, that might be allowed. But let's say it's a case where you can't do tiltum outside. I'm not sure why, but let's say there could be such a case. So you're going to be allowed to move the banana peel because somebody's going to fall. Right? Is that a common thing that he's going to, what do you say? Sarakana Gedayla, right? Sarakana Gedayla, right? Sarakana Gedayla, huh? It's nicker. It's nicker. No. It's not what? I don't know how big the big kites is. I don't know. Listen, I must admit, I'm not. Okay, I have another shayla. Right over there, he had this great shayla. You know that if you cut nails is a noirus sakana for a pregnant woman. The Gemara need to bring some daf yitzayin that really the Gemara might cut also, right? That the nails that were cut is noirus sakana because it causes a hapala. It causes a woman to miscarry. It's some scholastic thing, a ruchniistic concept we don't understand. The most dangerous place on earth for a pregnant woman is a nail parlor. She's sitting there, this Chinese lady, and she's, knocking away the finger lock and everything, and the nails are flying everywhere, and she's got shovels and everything. But she's a pregnant woman. If it is it's like a minefield over there. You walk in there, boom, who knows what can happen? I don't know. Find some else, or I don't know. So now here you are. Comes Shabbos, and you see, in the bathroom, you see on the floor a nail. You see a nail on the floor. Right? It happens. You're cutting the nails, and it happens, right? Say a story that the Chofetz Chaim, he once cut his nail in the mikveh, and he was chayshid that it went into the mikveh, and he spent his own money and he drained the whole mikveh and refilled it, which was a big. So now here you have a nail on the floor. You're looking at a nail. Nails muksa, unless you eat your nails, but it's probably muksa. You have a nail there on the floor, and there's this nail, and then you want to move it because it's kind of noira. There's a pregnant woman in the house. Let's say your wife is pregnant, and you have a nail there on the floor. So it's muksa for sure. It's a muksa machmas kufa. It doesn't have any tzarich for it at all. So you got to move it. What? But you be mechal Shabbos for it. What? First of all, Mishnah says efsher, number one, and he brings the El Rabbi if you move it to a different room, right? A different room. If Shleibim Koyim, a different room. Okay, but fine, Agufa part of the question. Right? What? So again, a lot of these cases, okay, you have to be allowed, yeah? You'll be allowed to sweep the floor. That's tiltum min atzad is an avera, right? Are you allowed to do tiltum min atzad? Tzarech the makim. What? We have to learn Graf Shavei. It's not Graf Shavei. That's the question. That's the question. Who says it's mutter to move that nail? I must tell you, until not yesterday, until 2 days ago, when did I see this stuff? On Thursday? No, a few days ago. I thought Pashit no shot in the world you can move the nail. I would have said do it with tiltum min atzad because why not? We saw over here already. The Mishnah Berurah says tiltum min atzad, tzarech b'makom. Why not? Okay? But then Reb Nissen on that page 108, he says no. It's only I guess he means that a shoymer mitzvah le'yedid or something like that. If you do a mitzvah, Hashem will protect you and not echleisnish and ruchniistic things. The Chazal didn't give their ateirim only on what. Why what? When you have a gashmiistic a fleishik, mazik, right? A real mazik. So then the pshat is that's a bari hezek. Here the hezek is based on ruchni, dvarim ruchni, right? So if I'm going to follow the halacha, if I'm going to not, I'm explaining what I don't fully understand. So sorry. Can't do tiltum. He says it's muksa and it doesn't have these ateirim. To me, it's an awesome chiddush, but yeah. What am I looking at? The cane. The Indian chayfetz sheikh by hezek she'ena tivia ruchani kegoyin sipur nayim nails. What is this? What am I looking at? He says, "Kasev Rav Yashiv shafa no yiketel tatum." Even if you are meko, which means that he's meko, I guess, then don't do it. Pachas midalad amis. Oh my goodness, the guy found a nail in the middle of the Rishus Rabbi. There he is in Ocean Parkway, and he sees like a big nail. I guess sometimes you have like a nail has like piece of socks in it still or whatever, Well, he found it. It was in his pocket. He put it in his pocket. It was in his pocket. Yeah, but let it just sit in his pocket. Okay, so he says, you just let it out there. That's from Nissen. These are terim or no, I'm just saying this is all chedushim, right? We all would have just said hezek, it's mutter, and that's it, right? Chedushim. Big chiddush. Maybe one day I'll give you some clarity in this, but no, like how does it work? How does it work? Rabbi said, what's a hezek? Should get a miscarriage. What? It's efsher. I told you that's what you asked. It's efsher. Mishabur says efsher. It's not so clear. Okay. Anyways, it's like this. Rabbi said, understand. I was thinking, why shouldn't I? Would I? Let's say in that case with the menorah, right? So Nissim would tell you you'd be allowed to move it. If something's in a place where it's going to fall, you're allowed to move it. So I was thinking, why should I be allowed to move it? Why shouldn't I have to sit there all day? What's the answer? Why shouldn't I have to sit there all day and warn? Same kasha here, right? What? Yeah, but so the answer mitzad the Rama over here, the Paiskim, is I would say because like Gazru at the Shvus, they weren't geyser the Shvus. It wasn't nigzer. They weren't geyser. I guess they have to take into account that nobody's gonna, no one's gonna do that maybe, or what happens if it happens, the first minute of Shabbos. So the mail, they weren't geyser. That's what you see here. You see that they weren't geyser. They weren't geyser. Question is like, how far do you take this? But I must tell you, I'm a little bit navaich. Somebody came to my house about it was the first week of the whole Corona business on that Shabbos. Right? I remember it because he was the only person that Shabbos that came to my house with a shiloh or anything, and they smashed the window. The window got smashed. Right? People went crazy from Corona even in the beginning, So the window got smashed. So he asked me, what can he do? What could he do with this smashed window? It's like it was a jagged edged window. What could he do? He wanted to take out the piece of the window. It was a smashed window. Yeah, that's speak about it. Or no? It was like a smashed window. He wanted to take out the piece of the window because it's mamish is a kind of noiro. Smashed windows is kind of she'enkamayo, right? So he asked me, what could he do? I told him, okay, you can get a guy. It's for sure a guy, but Malkim Hezek, they do even the Raisa. There's no guy this Shabbos. There ain't no Shabbos guy this Shabbos, ain't getting no guy, right? So what could he do? Because to take out that piece of glass is not just a shail of muksa. It's a shail of deraisa. Why is it shail of deraisa? Because it's a part of the window pane, right? So now it's a soiser. Is it a soiser amanas livnos? Yeah, because you're going to fix the window eventually. So it's a soiser amanas livnos, and you need to take that out in order. That's a very serious shaila. Mamish, a very serious shaila. I told him what I think to do. Until today, I'm not 100% sure, but it's a kind of nerve. I told him, could you put things in front of him? He said, he told me not sleeping the whole night, and he's not going to, if that glass is there, he's not moving from that glass the whole entire shower. I know what he means, a big, massive glass over there, the pachat chotem. He has kids and everything, right? And so I told him, mistama, you could be makel to kick it out with your foot. Kick it out with your foot. Because that's not normal. It's not a normal soiser. It's not a normal soiser. It's klach hayad. It's drabanan. B'makim this type of hezek. I was mistamich on this shulchan aruch. Simin shin ches sif yud ches. That b'makim hezek, Chazal didn't make their shvusim. The very big hezek. I told him smash it with your foot, and then afterward that we have already the come over here that it's dangerous and it's a hezek and the glass you can get rid of. You could smash it out with the foot. Does anybody disagree? Sorry. And Brera, of course, you give me that over here. Pachas Mishus Rabbim is a very chamer dikka one. That the Mishabura told us it's chamer. Mishabura told us these chamer ones are more chamer than the other one, than the muksa. Sorry, no, and that's the chiddush here. That's why you need shagi Kallus. I'm saying otherwise you could. I always ask you, why do you? Where's Rabbi Kleinbart? Right? You said why do you need shagi Kallus, right? So now this is why. No, this is why. No, because otherwise you'd read Shulchan Aruch and you would think maybe it's only in a carmelist. What? No difference. Yeah. I don't mean like with your foot. I don't know, broom, foot. I don't know if there's any difference breaking with your foot. Whatever. It could be I even told him break it with a broom. I could be breaking it with, and then I thought, no. I told him with the foot. I remember now. I told him with the foot. I told him with the broom, I'm not sure about. Because it's normal to probably take utensils and smash things. It just might not be normal with a broom. I don't know. It's not normal with a foot. That I knew. But making a hezek of this nature. No, but the question you should be asking, Rabbi Nissen, you didn't ask the question. I set you all up. What's the question you should ask on me? There's no, why is it Rishus Rabbim? Right? And that's the Mishabur is coming to say. He's coming to say that here's a Rishus Rabbim. Mashenkein over there is not a Rishus Rabbim, right? So what's the answer? What? So Shlomo Zalman told me that if you have kids and this and that, and you're not going to sleep the whole Shabbos, and that's like a Rabbim. Rabbim means, the definition of Rabbim is someone's going to get hurt. I don't know, it looks pretty scary to me. This guy, you have to remember, when somebody comes to ask a Shaila, it's already a decision. Is it a big enough decision? And then you have to figure out what time it is that he's asking this child. He came on a Corona Shabbos that nobody was going near anybody. Right? He was knocking on the door. He was standing this before masks. Right? He was standing there like this. Right? Like right by the door, like that, far away. And he's telling me what happened. It means it's already something that's really bothering this guy if he's coming to the door. I don't know. I think I said the right psak. I think I said the right psak. And the chayra there. Mishabura. I don't know, this Mishnah Berurah about Hezek that's nicker, there's no heter. If you're going to apply this Mishnah Berurah Kapshuta, anybody sees a jagged edge, it's nicker, right? So then there's no heter, right? What would be if there's no kids in the house? I see a broken glass. I don't know. Glass is see-through. I don't know. I'm not taking chances. I don't know. So I will admit that I don't fully understand the limit of the Mishnah Berurah, how it works out of Seif over here. And the klalim that I gave you are really a lot from Reb Nissen and but it's I don't know. Like that. Okay. Is there any questions? We go weiter. No, it's very schwer sugi because if the other Mishnah Berurah tells you with Rabbi and he tells you with Tiltum Natzad. I would just say anytime you can do it with Tiltum Natzad, in general, do it with Tiltum Natzad. Right? Anytime that you can, do it with Tiltum with your goof, do it with Tiltum and a goof, etc. More than that. If you're nervous and something is dangerous, so then versteht sich, even not a sekonas nefashos. I don't think we're talking here about sekonas nefashos. And that's why I used that last example. The chayr in that case over there, you'd be allowed. Maisa, glass, a lot of times, you do want to, it's hard to pick up glass sometimes. It's not easy, right? Sometimes you actually have to pick up the glass. It's not easy, especially when little bits break and whatever, and you're afraid it's going everywhere. Sometimes when the grass breaks, it goes everywhere. It's a peladik maisa. Right, I was going to save it for Thursday for the Chumash, but I can't because it just hit me now. I was driving just now to Ramat Eshkol, and I was turning on from the what's it called? I was on that road to Ramat Shlomo making the right, and then you make another right to come into Sheish Sayam, and then they're doing all that work over there. And they have this massive thing over there. And sometimes you see these things, and you think like, okay, they know what they're doing. The car two in front of me, not right in front of me, two in front of me. I didn't see it happen. I just saw the person get out of the car. But a brick or who knows whatever smashed down and smashed his window. Right? Smashed the window. I didn't see it. I didn't see the fall, but all of a sudden I just see glass everywhere, and I see the person coming out of his car. So when glass flies, it just flies everywhere. So that was very interesting. His wife got out of the car also, and they started taking pictures of the whole event and everything. And he started yelling at his wife. Because she wasn't taking the pictures right. Whatever. I don't know, he was screaming something about hummus and mapucha, but mapucha, hummus, and whatever, tchila, right? And mom is screaming. But mom is screaming. I just called up my wife when it happened. I said, I'm very sorry. She said, what? I said, I'm sure something once went wrong, and I blamed you, and it wasn't your fault. I'm sure, No, but the glass is everywhere. It was unbelievable. When you see glass break, it's an unbelievable thing. It just goes everywhere, all over the place. But anyways, all right, so Thursday I'll have to think of something else to speak about, okay? But that's that. Okay, let's go weiter. See if you test. Okay. Why? Because he's infectious. Well, what's a shayla? We'll talk about mace. There's all dinam of a mace. Sorry? He is muksa, but he's saying he's a mazik. Okay, come here. Sorry? What's the actual case of a kite? I admit that I don't know exactly what the case that they're talking about, right? All I know is that the Mishnah Berurah, when Rabbi say, I now gave you enough utensils, it could be tomorrow, I might have something to say, because when I'm this bothered, usually I look into things again. But you look at the Bir Loch over here, like in kites, in Dibra Maskal kites, and he says, Ayin Mogan Avram, he brings from the Rivash, Dafka kites, which is Ein Anira, Huadin and Evin Gedoyla, which is near Leinayim, then you can't. And the Mogan Avram argues, Layavin Kushi Asad, listen to the Mishnah Berurah. The be'em is shpud nasich chad min melamala kedei litlis. Harei shpud is very sharp, and it's like a kite. So he's got something with sharp things over here. The Mishnah Berurah. He says when we call makam nira, then he's tightly borrow dinim magavam. The lami time making nira delay tiru Shabbos came kites. Listen to these words. Kiyim kites. Maybe they were only making on the kites because very very sharp, very very sharp. Majain came stam and Evan, even an Evan cut in So the Avdal Indian is Zuck, and I'm reading Avna Sakina Masaya, even though we know an Avna Sakina Masaya is a problem, right? So, and that's a bor. Shiny, the Chmira Torah be Yoiser on a bor. It says, Evan Gedoyla near Naya Satato, Ratzalaim Afilu Yesh like Uksin Chad. He sounds like over here in this Bialacha, the only thing he's making on is sharp things. No? The Shabur goes over and over again about the only thing he's making on sharp things and whatever. It's very hard for us to understand this. I don't know. I don't know. So see this, the banana peel, it's out, and the medicine is out. It sounds like Chazal weren't geyser on sharp things or something. It doesn't stem with anything you heard today. Doesn't stem. Doesn't stem with the chair that you're going to fall because you're not going to realize that the chair only has 3 legs. It doesn't stem with anything I said today. So I'm going to leave the shir like this. At least this part of the shir. I'm going to leave like this. There's a big problem over here. Everything you heard today is that the poskim were giving klalim. Basically, if someone's going to get hurt, then there's a heterim of ezekim, and therefore there's a heterim of muksa, and the heterim spanned all the way from medicine to things that if they fall, they would break. Okay, that's nishkeferlich. And they spanned all the way to a table that if you're going to lean against the table might break, and it might hurt the person. And it spanned all the way to ice, and spanned all the way to like you said, medicine. What was the other ones? What? The banana peel and everything. And now you read this Bialacha and he says, well, I don't know. He's answering up the kashas of the Mogen Avram and everything and saying, oh, but a kite is very sharp. And maybe it's only very sharp things. And then he told us cheres is not so sharp and whatever. Who cares sharp, not sharp? It should just, according to the Mishabura, it should just be totally in one thing. Is the person going to get hurt? Is he not going to get hurt? And Gamarnu, what's the whole klal? You heard from a Falk. The Falk said a banana peel. Banana peels are sharp. They're not sharp. Not sharp. So what's the shot of the tzarfi? I'm a little bit navoich. The klalim I said today are the klalim that you find in the various kitzisvarim and whatnot. And Reb Nissen is not a kitzisvar, but you get my point from the Heintikis, we'll call it, right? But you look at the Mishabura and you get like a whole different picture over here. You get a whole different picture. And I'm a bit navoich about this shaila. When do we apply the term? And maybe, mitzvah we'll try to come back to it. That's Sif Yud Ches. Let's just finish over here. And then tomorrow I want to really go weiter, which was supposed to be today, to be Yichud Kalim and things like that. But so the Sif Yud Ches is a Sif that we almost definitely could skip. It's about some ladder that they had in the times of Chazal that they used to be Matiach Gagos. It's a whole Gemara in Beya. They used to fix the roofs. Their roofs were, different style roofs than we have, I guess. I don't know. And they had special types of ladders. And the question is, you're allowed to move these ladders on. It's a massive machlekes, one of the difficult sigas in Beya. It's machlekes Rishonim, what's the ladder we're talking about, whatnot. And I thought to skip it, but I'm not going to, because there's something very interesting here I want to tell you. Sulam Shalaliyah, Shugadol, it's very big. Huasi Latiach by Gaga. It's made for one purpose, to thatch or whatever it's called, the roof or whatever. Aser, Latal, you're not allowed to move it, but Shal Shoivach, if you have a birdhouse, isn't there anybody here? There's always that one weird guy who plays with little birds and things like that. Mutal and Toisa, you're allowed to move it from Mokim to Mokim, but you can't stop move this ladder. Very negative. You can't go from birdhouse to birdhouse. You can't do like the derech b'choil, and you're going to come to do tzeder. Okay, it's negative. Okay, so comes again. The Chayim, they're all Rishayim, very busy over here. What's this case over here, right? It seems to be, Derech Agav, the Mishabura tells you can go up and down this ladder. Because to walk on Muksa, you're allowed to. So you're allowed to go up and down this ladder. You hear this? You're allowed to walk up and down the ladder. Just not allowed to move the ladder. That's the Shaila. Okay, what's this Negayos? Then, so the Aruch HaShulchan over here, there's two Aruch HaShulchan. There's another sugya where this comes up in Tavkuf Yud Ches. This comes up again, the exact same sugya. So over there, the Aruch HaShulchan says, and by us, over here by us, and Sivkot and Lamed Ches, the Aruch HaShulchan says, this Gzeira is not a regular muksa. There was a Gzeira that Chazal made on this ladder, because this ladder was something that was used specifically with the roof. So some Gzeira that they used to go and they used to fix the roof with this ladder, something like that. So the Aruch HaShulchan says a Lashon, he says, so it was used with the roof. So Chazal made some type of Gzeira. They considered this ladder to not be a kli. They considered it to be a part of the house. Like kivyachol, what the Aruch HaShulchan means, is like if a door were to come off on Shabbos. So we spoke about this. If a handle comes off or all these things come off, the tris box comes off, things like that. So that was not muchan to be a kli. It wasn't muchan to be metaltal because it's used in conjunction with it's there, it was connected to the house. Here, it's like it's connected to the house. because it was used with the gag, and that's what he writes. That's what he writes. They made some type of special gzeira. According to this, is this whole halacha negeya? Not negeya. Not negeya. Any of our ladders are not things that are just in conjunction or whatever. And I don't see how this could be said negeya. I don't see how it's get what? A treehouse ladder might anyways be a problem because you're not allowed to climb on a tree on Shabbos. Says anyways, it's studim. Says anyways, going to be awesome. But so Mishabur over here in Ayin Ches, he says a regular ladder is mutter. A regular ladder is mutter. Mishabur says over here. Now, Lamaisa, what if you have those huge ladders? You know what I'm talking about? Those like really huge ladders. Anybody see in the basement Joshua? A lot of times they have those. You know what? They have one in there. No, but I don't just mean the one they have like the massive one. It gets the Shemayim over there and whatever. You know. Now, is there any time you use that except to do an Isser? Definitely not. Right? The only thing you do with that ladder is Isser. Right? No, I'm wrong. What? Sorry? Ball gets stuck in the roof. I'm saying the one in the base medrash here. It's they bought it for what? To change the light bulbs and whatever, right? I think. No, I mean I don't know. What? They use it for the farm here? No. I'm not talking about whatever. I mean, Mami, she goes to the Shemayim. It's what? A roof is that. So like, it comes out. Is that going to be, if you ask the Aruch HaShulchan says, all the ladders are mutter. He says all the ladders are mutter. He says, why? Because there was talking about something which was used constantly in conjunction with the roof, and it became like it lost its shame kli. Now, let's start. That's what I'm saying to you. Every one of these ladders is going to be mutter. Now, we spoke way back when about a ladder. We spoke way back then. I'm a little bit also navaich about this again. I'll tell you why. Over here, the poskim are discussing if this ladder is a muksa machmas gufay. They're discussing that this ladder is considered. They're discussing if this ladder is a muksa machmas gufay. It's not allowed to be moved at all, because they made some gzeira that they don't want you moving this ladder at all because it's a gzeira. It looks. I told you the Aruch HaShulchan says it's because it's a part of the bias. Others say a lashon because like lashon Shulchan Aruch is a little bit. He says it looks like you're doing business work, whatever. It looks like that type of thing, whatever. It's some. One moment. And therefore, there the gzeira is that it's muksa machmas gufay. They made a gzeira on this, right? Now, what's the din if this ladder wouldn't have got a special gzeira? What's the din? I don't know. Maybe it would have been a kli shemachtal yeser. We don't know. They're not donning that here. They're donning is it a muksa machmas gufay. Now, I must admit that the mashmayis of the poskim is that nobody ever stressed that, and we'll see what I mean in a moment. No one stressed that in a case where you don't have this gzeira, which I'll show you in a moment, that now it's still a kli shemachtal yeser. It's just not muksa machmas gufay. It does have a little bit of a mashmayis klape. That child we spoke about way back when, that these ladders, the only possible problem is if they made some special gzeira, which as you see, I'm bedafka not talking about, because it's a ganze sugi and it's not negeya. If you don't have that special gzeira, it would sound like a ladder is totally not muksa, even though it's this huge ladder which is only used for surim or whatever, painters or things like that. Which goes back to that shayla that we spoke about way back when, that if you have something which is the shlav before, which is enabling you to do an isser, so is that going to be called a kli shemachtal yeser? It would be mashma from here that not. Remember we spoke about the computer chair and whatever. The idea being that, no, over here, you're walking up the ladder. Walking up a ladder in itself is a shimush, which is a shimush shel heter. And therefore it doesn't get a shame of a muksa. I'm not 100% convinced, and I couldn't find a clear raya in the Mishnah Berurah. You have a raya? Anybody have a raya? I couldn't find a clear raya. I just tell you one thing. The Aruch HaShulchan says today all the ladders are mutter. And he says, even a ladder which is used to he says like a huge ladder over there, he says he doesn't differentiate and whatever, right? I saw one sefer he brings down, Dalfidus Aruch HaShulchan, even the ladders used by the telephone companies and all these things, they're mutter, right? And he doesn't say that they're kli shemachtal yeser, meaning if you're not in the gzeira, then you're mutter, right? Now, I want you to know, I saw some achrayim that they want to say that no, the gzeira was anything which is used just for isser, and it's very big, will be included in that gzeira of Chazal, okay, which is a chiddush. In other words, they're going to tell you that the ladder in the shul, that massive ladder, is going to be usser as the gzeira of Chazal, because it's used in conjunction with the roof. It's used in conjunction to do isurim in the roof, and therefore it's going to be included in this gzeira. Now, just enough communion is that a few years ago in Yerushalayim, there was a group of Bachrim that got locked in a room. They got locked in a room, and the lock was of such that it happened on Friday night, and they got locked in a room, and the door handle had come off. There was no way. The only thing they could do is if they can get a ladder to the window of the dormitory room. Otherwise, they would have had to be there the whole Shabbos. Yeah, so and they had, the yeshiva had this like massive 3-level ladder. One of these massive ladders that they used only for the things, right? So what do you say? Let's see. The Fidar Chashulchin, it's again, what we're trying to figure out is if you go that the Gzeira was only on this special type of ladder that none of us know what we're talking about, and that was the Gzeira, and therefore the Gzeira, then the most the ladder could be is a Kli Shemach Al Yeser. The most it could be is a Kli Shemach Al Yeser, and therefore it'll be Mutal Tzarech Gufa Tzarech Mekayma. Okay, the most. Or maybe it's Taked, there's no Gzeira B'chlal. How do you? I saw one say if he wanted to aser because he said that it's included in the Gzeira. It's included in the Gzeira. No, right. So I said it wrong. Right. There was one sefer one to aser because he said it's included in the Gzeira. Because anything which is used just for Isser and it's very, very big, any ladder which is used just for Isser and it's very, very big, so then that'll be Nechla in the Gzeira. Once it's Nechla in the Gzeira, right? Once it's Nechla in the Gzeira, so then you're not allowed to move it outside Guf and outside Mekayma. Right. What I'm saying is that first of all, maybe it's not included in the Gzeira. Okay. But Elamai, you'll say once it's not included in the Gzeira, because our Chashulchan said nothing else is included in the Gzeira except for the Gzeira that was actually the Gzeira. But now that it's not included in the Gzeira, you'll say, wait, but still, maybe it's Aser, it's a Kli Shemach Al Yeser. So first of all, I'm not sure. And second of all, it's still Mutter Tzarech Gufa Mekayma. And the stum in this case, you'd be able to be Mekel. So Tachlis, these ladders, if it's a big, very big Shas at Chak, you will be allowed to use it. You will be allowed to use it. Come again? You can't do a tilted matzah on such a ladder. You got to be, when you're going to get after on this, you got to move it or that's it. Sorry? Yeah, getting it to there. Oh yeah, they had to bring the ladder there. Yeah, for sure. The question's that. Now, I want anybody, if they find a raya over here when they're reading your test, it's just strange to me. It definitely sounds like that the only issue is this new Gzeira, It definitely sounds like if there's not this new Gzeira, then it's a Kli Shemach Al Yeser, which would be a raya klape that shayla that we spoke about, which would mean that the ladder is mutter, and it's a Kli Shemach Al Yeser, and that's it. It definitely is the pastas mashmoyes and mishnah. And now I'm not convinced anymore. Yeah, it's machlekes on that shayla. What if Shamzam said it's mutter, right?
Why isn't it super?
Sorry, sug beis. Shimish gadol mizayis. The most shimish in the world. Shemesh. It's got a grace of Shemesh, right? It's grace of Shemesh. Now, on that story, I saw they brought down the story. It was a real Ma'aseh Shahaya. Then the story was they asked Rabbi Yashiv. Rabbi Yashiv said that they should get 10 Bachrim to carry the ladder. Sounds like some mystical whatever. I guess I don't know. That's how they brought down the story. And then afterward, this guy wrote a whole shtickle Torah to explain what was. I guess Rabbi Yashiv was learning that the ladder is this Gzeira. This, and that ladder is included in this Gzeira because it has to do with a roof usable ladder, a ladder that's used by the roof. And he held it's yes in the Gzeira, but it's a Gzeira, it's not a regular muksa. So we found the Gzeira of not moving things, that there's a heter of 10 people, even though I told you only need 2, but there's a heter that there's no chshad that he's going to actually come to maybe do work or whatever when there's 10 bachrim involved. God, when there's 10 bachrim involved, you got to be more nervous. But you get the point. 10 bachrim involved, that's Rabbi Yashiv's psak. If I would have thought that you could be makel. That's what I would have thought, and obviously I am not correct. But I would have thought that you could be makel because that's in fact that's what I would have thought. I would have thought you could be makel. But okay, Adkan. These are the side sifim. I'll call them tomorrow. We're going to start the sugya of yichud. I just want to tell you one thing. I was learning today the sugya of yichud, which is what I thought the share would be on today. And I found a very interesting thing, which I was going to say for tomorrow, but it's intriguing, and I have 1 minute left. I said to you yesterday, I asked the question, could I just decide that I want my menorah to be, miyachid my menorah now to be, noi, to be a figurine. We lost Mr. Figurine over here, right? But to be a figurine, right? So I told you, on Shabbos for sure is the problem, because Miga just gets on. But then I started asking you a question. What if today I get up and I say, from now and forever, my menorah is no longer a menorah. What's my menorah? It's a figurine. It's just it's a tchotchke. It's a noi. Remember I had the shayla yesterday? Did I ask the shayla over or no? The second part, I don't know if I asked the second part. I asked the shayla. So I'm not sure. I wasn't sure. I tell you, the most interesting mitzvah. I mean, we're going to talk about this more tomorrow. But the Chazon Ish in Mem Beis, I saw this just now. That's why it's fresh off the press. The Chazon Ish in Mem Beis, Yud Gimel, says the most interesting. This is your first introduction into Yichud. He talks about money, and he says that can I be miyachid money for something? So he says, no, I don't think you could be miyachid money for something. I mean, we're going to learn you could be miyachid bricks, you could be miyachid everything, right? What's his geld? What's Andrish geld? So he says, money he can't be miyachid. You know why? Because he'll be chayzer on it. He'll be chayzer on the yichud. Since, what are you going to do? You're going to miyachid the money for whatever, but you're going to go and chayzer on the yichud because it's still usable money. It's still usable money. I was just wondering that's where we have to done and discuss, and we have to see. Just a moment. Was? Das nicht Geld. Das nicht Geld. Das ist heilige. Das ist mamish. We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. We're going to talk about that money. We're going to talk about. You don't have to go as far as Lubavitch. Right? You go to the Rebbes. You go to all the Rebbes. No. What about the Chanukah Geld? The Rabbi, I see the Rebbe didn't give you a half a shekel this year. Right? Okay. Right? In America, you don't get a half a shekel. You get like a half a dollar. No. Oh, that's here we go. What about this? What about this? A dime. A dime. It's great. Just a dime. You give this to a kid in New York. Give him a dime. No. So what about a dime? This is already different. It's inside a plastic, and that might be a whole different truth. But some, I mean, yachid $1 for something, a shekel for something, or whatever. So the Chazon Ish says you can't because you're going to be chayz. That's your first introduction into yichud. If this is true, if it's not true. But I was thinking, what about by menorah? You know, it's so. I so hear that svara by menorah, right? I'm telling you that I plan on lighting by my door from now on, right? Okay? Then I realized after, as I'm minding, what? And when Mashiach comes, Chanukah is not going to be batal. Chanukah is not batal. Why Chanukah is going to be batal? What? Sorry? Well, I'm not bringing the menorah. But that's not. No, but I think Chanukah. The only reason I can't light it outside is because maybe the neighbors Yasser and Fatima and his other wife, whatever, they're going to come and take my menorah, right? But when Mashiach comes, right? So they'll all be avodim anyways to us. I'm not going to steal. There won't be money geneva, so I'll still light the menorah, right? No, but my point is that it's the most easy thing to just say I'll be chayzer on my. If this concept is true, you got to reevaluate a sugya that you haven't started learning yet. No, but I just started thinking this is for sure a very good thing. No, in general, because nobody's using money on Shabbos, right? Okay, anybody who has a chavrusich, a lot of guys have come to me, and then I can't run after you because I would love to run after you, but sometimes I can't. So please come to me. Please come.